Me sigue por donde quiera con obstinación.
Banners hang from the roof of Barracks 3 at NTC's Liberty Station. On each is a familiar portrait of Frida Kahlo. Once inside, walls painted a deep maroon showcase the paintings that have made Frida Kahlo an icon. In fact, all of Kahlo's paintings are in this show, but none of them were actually painted by her. They are replicas, painted by 4 Chinese artists, all hired by this woman, Dr. Mariela Raymond. She and her partner Hans-Jürgen Gerke organized this exhibit. Neither of them has an arts background, but together they've put 30 years into this project.
We are crazy about Mexico and the Mexican culture, the history, archaeology. We are crazy about Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, the painters in Mexico. And there was a point in our lives, which was 5 years ago, which we thought we were ready to share our passion with anybody who want to see it.
They paid for the rights to copy the paintings. The couple has invested their life savings into this collection.
We could have retired in south of France with a villa and 2 Ferraris, but we decided we would rather do this.
San Diego is the first U.S. stop for the exhibit, and it's already controversial. A show made up entirely of replicas is unusual, but the bigger issue is one of transparency. The banners, pamphlets, and even the catalog that accompanies the exhibit do not explain that the paintings are replicas.
I also know paintings.
Alessandra Moctezuma teaches museum studies at San Diego Mesa College. She doesn't understand why there isn't an explanation on the first wall of the exhibit.
Normally when you walk into a museum exhibition or a gallery exhibition, you would have a text panel, what is called a didactic panel, and you would explain the exhibition.
She thinks the word replica should be placed next to the title of each painting, along with credit to the Chinese artist who painted it.
If you're walking in and you're not understanding that these are copies, and the copies themselves are so uneven, it is giving a false presentation to the viewer and the audience.
There is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper taped to the ticket counter and the door of the exhibit that explains the paintings are replicas. People walked by without reading it. I asked Raymond if she's worried some people might think the paintings are originals.
We were not, because we always said in all our communication is replicas. From our point of view, is written everywhere, is in the advertising, is in every possible piece of communication.
But it's not on the banners outside the building or on the pamphlets. After examining the 48-page catalog audiences used to walk through the exhibit, we found only one painting described as a replica. Some people I spoke with did think the artwork was painted by Frida Kahlo. In a subsequent interview, Ramon conceded that there was no statement explaining the paintings were replicas in the catalog or in other materials. She said, quote, "You are right, and we are going to correct it in the next edition. This is the result of work done under pressure. That is all," unquote.
I can only tell you my experience.
Andy Gonzalez owns a gallery at NTC that specializes in Chicano and Latino art. He says he'd be surprised if anyone thought Frida Kahlo's actual work would be on view in an old army barracks.
Most people who know anything about Frida or know anything about art do know that it will be in a big name museum, and it'll be under lock and key and under, guns and everything else to guard it.
San Diego Museum of Art Executive Director Roxana Velasquez says she's bothered by the lack of transparency, but also by the quality of the reproductions.
Yes, and if I have to pick a word, I would just tell you that it's an uneven quality.
Moctezuma says there's a reason museums, scholars, and conservators are so concerned about authenticity and provenance of a painting.
Because the painting itself is not only a work of art, but it's also a document. It's a historical document, and embedded in it are all the hours that were spent by the artists producing it, the layering of the brushstroke, and also all the changes that happened. All that complexity, cannot be translated by somebody just coming and copying it.
Tickets to the exhibit cost $16.50. Ramon says they are exploring options for the next stop on the exhibit's tour. They are planning to go east, possibly to Texas. She seems undeterred by the controversy surrounding the San Diego leg of the tour.
We were not even worried whether people would accept it or not, because we have learned in life one cannot please everybody. But this is our true passion, and we share it with anybody who has an open mind and wants to come and see it.
Angela Carone, KPBS News.